Hi everyone. Welcome back to your weekly yoga session, or if this is your first time, welcome. My name is Betsy, and today for our short practice, we will be focusing on our core. And so the core can be quite a vague area in many different contexts, whether you are thinking about it from a fitness perspective, from an athletic perspective, or from a general living and movement perspective. The core people often associate with abdominal muscles, our oblique muscles, all of the muscles that sort of make up our trunk or our abdomen. And we're not exclusively dealing with the muscles on the front of the body or the sides of the body, but in fact, we are dealing with all of these muscle groups that connect our upper half with our lower half. So those connection points can be along our spine, along our ribs, and can be along our pelvis, along the back of our pelvis, the tops of our femurs. And it's really, these muscle groups are really critical for good health. And if you're any sort of person exploring fitness or athletics or movement, because of how interconnected they are and how they really facilitate coordination in our bodies. So we will just be exploring those areas, working on building a little bit of heat and strength in those areas, and I welcome you. As always, if you are working with any sort of injury or any sort of medical condition, please make sure that you have consulted with your provider to ensure that these practices and movements such as yoga and core work and exercise are healthy for you. And I look forward to getting going. So we will start in a comfortable seated position. You don't really need any props for this practice. If you like a little bit of extra support, you can sit up on a blanket or a towel. Or we won't be seated for very long. You can just come to a comfortable seat on your mat. Sit in a comfortable cross-legged position. If you're dealing with any knee or hip issues, you can just place your legs wherever they are most comfortable. And once you're there, rest your hands on your thighs and close your eyes. And we will start by turning our attention to our breath. And with our eyes closed, we have the opportunity to more deeply check in with how our body is doing physically. Noticing where you connect with your mat, with the floor. And allowing those connection points to feel heavy, to feel grounded. And with that groundedness, as you inhale, can you sit a little bit taller? Sitting tall through the crown of the head, giving yourself more space. And then as you continue to do that, can you soften your shoulders and soften your face? And explore your ability to simultaneously feel expansive and spacious, but also grounded. Join your hands in front of your heart, and if you'd like to do so, you can set an intention for this practice. It can be anything that serves you. Anything that can support your effort in staying present. As the mind inevitably starts to wander off, we can use our intention to bring us back. As you exhale, release your hands. Let your eyes start to open. You can uncross your legs and make your way onto all fours, coming into table pose. If you're using a blanket, you can just set that to the side. You'll have the opportunity to place it under your knees a little later. So wrists And elbows are underneath your shoulders, knees are under your hips. You can release the toes or tuck them, whichever is more comfortable for you. And from here, actually turn your hands a little bit away from one another so that your forefinger and your thumb are aiming toward the upper corners of your mat. This gives your chest and shoulders more space. Now from here, we'll take cat-cow breathing. So as you inhale, drop the belly, spread the collarbones. And as you exhale, press into your foundation, press into your hands and feet to draw the spine up toward the ceiling. Inhale, drop the belly, float the tailbone and crown of the head up. And as you exhale, draw the spine up toward the ceiling, creating space in between your shoulder blades, in between each vertebra. Moving on your own breath. Almost allowing each breath to roll into the next. Now there's that ever so subtle pause at the top of your inhale and the bottom of your exhale. But the movement can be continuous. So just as the waves of the ocean roll methodically into the next, so can these movements. Coming back into a neutral table pose. So drawing the weight out of the shoulders, lifting the hips away from the mat. You can do that by drawing the belly in toward the spine. We're going to extend the right leg behind us. Keep the toes on the mat for now. Notice how this shifts your balance, all right? So you might feel a little wobbly as soon as you move that right knee. Press the right thigh up, even though the foot is on the mat. Draw your belly in toward your abdomen. Lift your shoulders away from the floor, so your hands are rooted, but you're keeping the weight out of your shoulders as best as you can. And on your next inhale, float the right leg up. The leg is still spiraling toward the mat, so you want the back of the heel to lift up toward the ceiling. And as you do that, continue to keep the work in the upper body, drawing the shoulders away, keeping the belly strong. Reach back through the right heel as you reach forward with your heart. The gaze is forward. Inhale. And as you exhale, lower the right leg. Extend the left leg. Keep the toes on the mat to start. Press the left thigh away from the floor. Same thing, adjust the upper body or just notice how that might make you a little wobbly. It's okay if you sway back and forth. And from here again, draw the belly in toward the abdomen, lift the shoulders away from the mat. And on your next inhale, float the left leg up behind you, straight up. As you do that, keep the belly strong, keep the shoulders lifting. The heart reaches forward as you draw the left heel back, creating this long line of energy. And exhale, release. Take that back to the first side. So extend the right leg back, set yourself up here, and then on your next breath in, extend your left arm forward. So reach through the left fingertips. Adjust your core here. So draw your belly in toward your spine, lift your right shoulder away from the mat. Inhale, lengthen, lift the right leg. And then as you exhale, draw the left elbow to right knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, left elbow to right knee. Inhale, lengthen. Nice job. Exhale, right elbow, right knee. One more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, right elbow, right knee. Nice job. Now place the left hand, right knee down. Notice the difference between your shoulders. Your right shoulder is likely much warmer now. And now extend the left leg back. So setting yourself up, press the left thigh up, the toes are still down. Draw the belly up and in, extend the right arm forward. And on your next inhale, float the left leg up, reach through your fingertips and through the right heel. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, right elbow, left knee, bringing them together. Inhale, lengthen, belly strong. Exhale, right elbow, left knee. One more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, right elbow, left knee. Place the hand back down, place the knee back down. Nice job. Take a cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale. Draw the spine up. And from here, go ahead and move the knees away from one another. Bring the big toes to touch. Sit back, child's pose. You can let the arms rest alongside the legs here if you'd like, if that's comfortable. You can just Allow the shoulders to be a little bit more heavy. Rolling toward the mat. Nice job. And then from here, press the body upright. Coming through a seated position, roll your shoulders back, peel them back. And as you do that, lift the heart upward. So drawing them back and rolling them forward. From here, interlace your hands behind the low back. Draw your belly in toward your spine. Inhale, lift the heart. Nice job. And then release. Come back to all fours. Walk your hands about 2 palms in front of your shoulders. Tuck your toes under. Press your way up and back to downward facing dog. And take 5 breaths here. Set up your downward dog. If you're tight in your low back or hamstrings, you can widen your stance and softly bend your knees. And whichever variation you're in, press your thighs up and back. Lift your hips away from the floor toward the top of the wall behind you. Drawing the weight out of the shoulders, let your heels be heavy, and then release the head and neck as much as is comfortable for you. You can turn the head from side to side. Gently shake it as if you're nodding your head yes or shaking your head no. Slowly. And on your next breath in, draw your shoulders forward over your wrists, plank pose. You can always lower your knees here. We'll stay here for a couple breaths. Drawing your shoulders away from the mat. Again, always rooting down into those points of connection with the floor and drawing your energy away. So lifting the shoulders away from the wrists, pressing the thighs up, drawing the belly in, heels reach back, heart reaches forward, and on your next exhale, slowly bend your elbows, lower yourself all the way to the floor. Release your feet. Reach back through all 10 toes. Lengthen your legs toward the back of the mat. Now press into the tops of the feet. Your hands are on either side of your rib cage. Inhale, draw the heart forward, peel the shoulders back, baby cobra. Exhale, release. Tuck your toes under and make your way up and back to downward dog. On your next breath in, reach your right leg up and back behind you. Reach back through your right heel. And then on your next exhale, shift your shoulders forward into plank as you draw the right thigh in toward the chest, in toward the belly. Inhale, float the right leg up and back, reach through the right heel, 3-legged dog. And on your next exhale, draw the right thigh in toward the heart. One more, inhale, up and back, reaching through the right heel. As you exhale, draw the right thigh in toward the chest. Use your belly to draw the leg even more in toward the body. Inhale, lift the right leg up and back. Exhale, place the right foot next to the left. Nice job. Other side. Inhale, left leg reaches up and back. Reach back through the left heel. And on your next exhale, shoulders shift forward into plank. Draw the left thigh in toward the belly. Draw the shoulders away from the mat. Nice job. Inhale, left leg up and back, reach through the heel, lengthen. Exhale, left thigh in toward the heart. Use your core, your abdominal muscles to draw that leg up. Inhale, up and back. And on your next exhale, last time, left thigh in toward the body. Nice job. Inhale, up and back. And as you exhale, place the left foot down, lower the knees. Rest the arms alongside the body, child's pose. You can also stack your forearms one on top of the other. If your breath is working here, you can turn your head to the one side and give yourself a little bit more space to breathe. Otherwise, allow your forehead to rest against the back of your hand or a block. If you have a yoga block, you can always do that. Nice job. You can shimmy your sit bones a little bit closer to your heels. If child's pose is uncomfortable for anyone, if you're dealing with any low back or hamstring issues, you can always just sit upright. Allow your breath to normalize. Allow that heat that you're building to spread. A few more breaths. Nice job. Now, if you're in child's pose, walk your hands back so that you're coming to sit upright. And from here, Move your hips to one side, bring your legs around in front of you. Your feet are on the mat, your knees are bent, and then you're sitting right on your sit bones. So you can organize your glutes away from one another so that you feel those two bony sit bones. There's two of them on the bottom of your pelvis. Start to make contact with the floor. From here, lean back as if you were reclining behind you. You're still balancing on your sit bones. Draw the belly in toward the spine. Your feet are hips distance apart. Up to you. You can walk the heels a little bit closer to the body or keep them a little bit further away, wherever you're most comfortable. And from here, open your arms alongside the body, palms facing up. Now draw your arms into your shoulders. Draw your shoulder blades together. We're engaging our arms into our shoulders. The belly's strong. Keep drawing the belly toward the spine. And as you do that, lift the heart up toward the ceiling. So you're creating space across the front of the body. Now, on your next inhale, you can float the right leg up and then float the left leg up next to it. You can join the feet and join the knees if that's comfortable for you, or keep them a hips distance apart. Keep lifting the heart. Keep drawing the belly in. Breathe. And as you exhale, lower the feet. You can release the hands behind the sit bones, turning them open away from the body so your thumbs are moving toward the outer edges of your yoga mat, drawing your shoulder blades together. Lift the chest. Breathe. Nice job. We'll take that again, that variation of boat pose. So setting yourself up, extend your arms, palms face up so that you're opening the chest, giving more space for the lungs and for the heart. Draw the shoulder blades together, lift the heart, draw the belly in toward the spine. Next inhale, you can float one leg up and then the other, bringing both legs up. We'll stay here, stay strong in the abdomen. Keep lifting the heart. Now keeping the knees bent just takes a little bit of pressure off of your hip flexors, the muscles, your psoas muscles that connect the upper body to the lower body. You can always experiment with straightening your legs any amount, straightening your knees, but keeping them bent just takes a little bit of pressure off. That's okay. One more breath, nice job. And exhale, lower down, release the arms. You can sit upright, releasing them behind the low back. Turn the palms away from one another. And while you're here, you can draw the right ear toward your right shoulder, the chin toward your chest, left ear, left shoulder. Encouraging the muscles of the neck and the upper shoulders to loosen. You know, we're sort of targeting this area here, but really, whenever we're dealing with a specific location in the body, it's interesting to follow how other areas of the body that are seemingly unrelated can tense up. So pay attention to what's going on in your jaw. Pay attention to what's going on in your neck and shoulders as we're moving through this. We'll take that one more time. So setting yourself up, feet are on the mat, knees are bent, extending the arms alongside the legs, palms face up, drawing the shoulder blades together, belly into the abdomen, lifting the heart, and on your next breath in, you can lift the feet one at a time or together. And you don't have to keep your toes rigidly pointed or flex your feet. You can just kind of let them be where they are, but keep lifting. Keep drawing the belly in toward the spine. Nice job. Check in with your jaw. Check in with your breath. And exhale, release the legs, release the arms. Nice job. You can let the knees roll over to one side. We'll make our way back onto all fours before we move on. Walk your hands forward. Tuck your toes under, press the thighs up and back, downward dog. We'll start to lengthen those areas now. So inhale, reach your right leg up and back behind you. Exhale, step the right hand in between the feet, lower the left knee. Inhale, lift the torso. I'm gonna switch legs so that you all can see me here. Right knee is over the right ankle. With your hands on your hips, draw the right hip back, let the left hip shift forward. Again, you can keep the back toes tucked or slide a blanket underneath the back knee. Both of those will help take a little bit of pressure off of the knee. Now from here, with your hands on your hips, we're actually gonna move the hips closer towards the top of the mat and bend deeper into the front knee, the right knee. And as you do that, make sure that the right knee isn't jutting in front of the ankle. You still want it to stay more or less over the ankle. If it's a little bit in front, that's okay. We're not staying here long and bearing a lot of weight. But you can always lengthen your stance. So you can kind of heel toe, scoot your foot toward the top of your mat, and then bend into the right knee, bringing the hips closer to the top of the mat, really getting into this area, the muscles of the front of the left leg, the left side abdomen. And on your next breath in, you can reach your arms forward and up, reaching high, lengthening the waist. And then as you release them on your next exhale, interlace them behind the low back. Keep drawing the belly in. So there's this sort of opposite direction of action. So drawing your belly in as you're bending into the knee and drawing the hips forward. So you might feel as though that's contradictory. That's okay. That's going to engage the muscles in each direction so that we don't just sit in our end range. Nice job. Release the hands, frame the right foot, and step back to downward dog. Take your time. We'll take that on the other side. Inhale, left leg reaches up and back. Exhale, step it in between the hands, lower the right knee, float the torso up. Adjust any props that you like underneath the right knee or underneath, keeping the toes tucked. Bring your hands to your hips, draw the left hip back, let the right hip shift forward. And from here, we're gonna move the hips straight forward towards the top of our mat as we bend a little bit more deeply into the left knee. And again, keep in mind that we don't want to see the knee bending really far in front of the ankle. So if that's the case, you can just lengthen your stance, keeping the weight in the heel of the front foot. And again, pressing into the ball of the back foot to take pressure off of that back knee. Nice job. So drawing the hips forward. Next inhale, reach the arms forward and up to lengthen the sides of the waist. And then as you exhale, release the hands behind you, opposite thumb, clasps on top. Inhale, lift the heart. Draw the belly in toward the spine. And again, notice how that almost backs your hips up a little bit, drawing the weight out of the front knee or the bend out of the front knee. That's okay. So there's a little bit of back and forth here, but again, that's not a problem. Nice job. And on your next exhale, release the hands, frame the left foot, and step back. Take your time, downward dog. 3 breaths here. Last downward dog of this practice. On your next breath in, roll the shoulders forward, coming into plank pose. Again, you can always lower the knees here. The legs, the tops of the legs press away from the floor. The shoulders draw up. Nice job. Exhale, slowly lower yourself all the way to the floor. Release the tops of your feet. Hands are pressed on either side of the rib cage. Reach back through all 10 toes as you press your feet into the floor. And then on your next inhale, peel the shoulders forward and up, baby cobra. If this is enough for you, stay here. If you'd like to bring your forearms and arms in front of the body, you can make your way into Sphinx pose. Don't lose the action in the legs. We always want to lengthen before going into the back bend. Don't sacrifice any of that length just to get into a back bend. We don't want to jeopardize anyone's back here. Breathe. Releasing the muscles of the abdomen. And then as you exhale, lower yourself down, press into your hands, make your way onto your back so you can sit your hips to one side, bring your legs around in front of you, and lower yourself down. Give yourself a few breaths to adjust to being on the mat in this context. Draw your shoulder blades underneath your upper back and then let your abdomen sink toward the floor. Let your belly be heavy. Now from here, you're going to lift your feet off of the mat. Bringing your knees so that they're in line with one another over your hips. Your shins and your legs, your lower legs, are parallel with the mat. You can let the arms rest alongside the body with the palms facing up, ensuring that you can keep the shoulder blades together and soften the belly down, or you can extend them out to a T. Here. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, slowly lower your feet to the floor. Keep drawing the belly in toward the abdomen the whole time that you do that. Nice. Take a breath before we lift them up. Now draw your belly in, lift the legs. Inhale here, and as you exhale, slowly lower them together down to the mat. Keeping all of this area engaged. And so what that means is really firming these muscle groups, all of this tissue in toward the body. Think about your belly button, if you could bring it onto your spine through all of the organs here. We're gonna do that a few more times. So inhale, lift the legs. And as you exhale, slowly lower them down. Nice job. Inhale, lift the legs. Exhale, slowly lower them down as you're using your breath. One more. Inhale, lift the legs. And exhale, slowly lower them down to the floor. Nice. Now from here, bring your arms to a T if they aren't already there. Depending on your space, you can always bring them to cactus arms, field goal arms, palms facing up. Cross the right thigh on top of the left, heel toe of the left foot just about an inch or so. I know you can't see that, but just use your imagination toward the midline. Inhale here, and as you exhale, let the legs fall over to the left. So just taking a really simple spinal twist here, giving length and space to all of those muscle groups on the front of the abdomen, getting into the muscle groups on the side of the abdomen, your obliques. Firming the right shoulder down toward the mat. You can let the back of the skull rest against the floor or turn your head and gaze over the right shoulder. That's okay too. And while you're here, allow the legs to be heavy. They're giving traction to the lower body so that you can create length all along the front of the right shoulder, through the right side of your hips. Inhale, float the legs back up, uncross them, plant both feet before you cross the left thigh on top of the right. And same thing on this side, heel toe, the right foot about an inch, or what you would feel as is an inch in your body, toward the midline. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, let the legs fall over to the right. Firm the left shoulder toward the mat, not in a rigid or stiff way. Maybe you turn the head and glance over the left shoulder if you tried that on the first side. But ultimately honoring the difference between the first side and the second side. Rarely will any experience feel the same, and that's okay. Check in with your breath. Check in with any areas of tension. Maybe the jaw, the neck. And on your next inhale, float the legs back up to center, uncross them. As you breathe in, bring the legs in toward the abdomen. You can gently roll side to side. You can gently roll forward and back if that feels nice. Taking any last movement on your back body here. You can take a happy baby pose by threading the arms inside of the knees, taking hold of the outer edges of the feet, or maybe bring the soles of the feet together into a variation of bound angle pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. Or one of my own personal favorites is just allowing your legs to straighten any amount and hang out over your hips, as if you were doing legs up the wall without the wall. A few more breaths. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and make your way into corpse pose. So you can extend the legs, straightening the knees, reaching through the heels, and then letting the legs fall away from one another. Placing the arms alongside the body with the palms facing up, and drawing the shoulder blades underneath the upper back. Again, this just gives more space to your heart and to your lungs. But as you do that, take care that we're not just keeping the front of our body arching forward. So we really want to soften the abdomen, soften the ribs, encourage them to be as heavy as they want to be. Maybe you place your hands on the body and then close your eyes. Check in once again with your breath, once again with anywhere in the body that you might notice any tension, tightening, or gripping. And simply by acknowledging those areas, can you begin to make an effort to loosen? And this is how we teach our body how to relax. Our bodies and our brains get so good at gripping and holding that soon, it doesn't even take long, we don't even notice it anymore. So simply by bringing our attention to those areas and consciously trying to release them, we're taking a step in that direction of loosening. It doesn't happen all at once. So from here, take a breath or two to honor your practice, to honor your effort, to honor your willingness to show up and create space and use this time for yourself. And honor the ultimate teacher, the teacher within. Namaste.